Yeah, just to help your friend. There's a difference between coaching and mentoring.
I get it, you know the perception. I degree, I sign a value. What are you gonna do with a piece of paper? Start a business, etc., etc. Unemployment rate of graduates is high. So with all that in mind, you'd still encourage it?
I would still encourage it because it's not just about getting a better job after you have it.
Because there is a verse, I think it's Proverbs 13, where they say that it's a stupid man that doesn't ask questions. And that doesn't mean that you can't ask questions of God himself. You know, it's just that from the realm of religion, we find it difficult to challenge and ask certain things.
Because we have different interpretations of who God is.
100%.
You understand?
100%.
So it...
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, my starters, you know when they say that life sometimes comes in full circle, today that's what it's talking about. I have in front of me one of my heroes. This gentleman, guys, I don't want to lie. He shaped my life. And what's going to happen is that during the course of our discussion, that's when you're going to learn how I became the man that I was based on the bad decisions I was making at the time, and how me coming across this man through my mom, whose mentor was his mom, funny enough. So it's a generational thing to be as blessed as I am blessed today. His name is Sibusiso Mfeka, currently Mr., but soon to be Doctor. So I hope that you draw some inspiration from it, because he's one of the key people that tell you about how it starts with you and how you yourself can prosper through facing your challenges head on, challenging the status quo and chasing your dreams. I don't want to go too much into his profile because it's a mouthful. Instead, let's catch the bulk of it as we are actually having a discussion.
Yes.
Mr. Sibusiso Mfeka, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me here, man.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So he's the author of I Was Born for This.
Yes. Yes.
Do you remember when you released this book?
I think it was in 2012, 2013, somewhere there. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yes.
It's a long time ago. It was a very, very exciting time in my life. I had just started pastoring a church in Bronxspruit. So the day I went to fetch the book, because it was printed in Pretoria. So I had to drive from Bronxspruit into Pretoria.
Okay.
The excitement that was in my heart that day, it's like when a new baby is born.
Yes.
I just felt like I had produced something from my brain, and somebody is going to be reading my thoughts. See, for me, it didn't matter the money that will come with it. That didn't matter. What mattered was that my thoughts are going to be read by somebody. Whether they will appreciate my thoughts,
100%.
whether they will critique my thoughts, I didn't care. All I was excited for was that somebody is going to be reading my thoughts, and that meant something for me. It meant I've got something to say.
Yes, 100%.
It meant I am able to think, and I'm able to shape somebody's thinking. So yeah.
And now, funny enough, they call you the branding coach. So already in the title of the book, you say, I was born for this. You are branding and conscientizing people about what they are capable of and what they have to look forward to in terms of life itself. So in terms of branding itself, why is it so important in this day and age?
Branding is important, man, because first of all, you must understand that we come from an individualistic society, you know, and being Black people, we are now beginning to formulate who we are as a people. And formulating who we are as a people formulates the brand that we are. And obviously, as Africans within that brand of being Black Africans, you now begin to pull out who you are as a person, you know, that you begin to understand your individuality, you understand your uniqueness, you understand what is it that ticks about you, you understand what is it that makes you excited about life, you understand What is it that you need to contribute into this life? You know, you understand your identity. You understand what your destiny is all about. So branding is important because branding begins to say, this is who I am. I normally say when I define branding, I say branding is management of perception. It's just management of perception.
Okay, interesting.
Because you are saying to people, this is who I am, and this is how I want you to see me. Hence, I normally advise to say, you must never give anybody to be the one that manages your brand. Manage your own brand.
Manage it yourself.
Manage it yourself, and then delegate tasks that you want to delegate in as far as how your brand must be managed. But be at the cutting edge of managing your own brand.
Personal brand.
Because if you are entrusting that to somebody, they will then interpret what they think you say you are. And they will sell what you are not. You understand? So for me, branding is about the management of perception. So it's important for me for people to be branded very well. It's important for me to be branded very well. It's important for organizations to be branded well.
100%.
Because how you brand yourself is how we see you. And how we see you is that which we will buy. Or that which we will not buy.
Okay, you spoke about identity.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing about it. When you sent me your profile, your profile started with Sibusiso Mfeka is a husband.
Yes.
Why is that at the epitome or the first thing that people must identify you as and the brand Sibusiso Mfeka?
Yeah. Is to firstly understand my values, because that speaks of values.
Yeah.
So before I can tell you everything else I do, I must first show you my priority value. And my priority value is being husband. And being husband implies I'm a family man. I'm family centered. Everything I do is about my family. I love my family. You know, I would go to the ends of the earth for my family. You understand?
Powerful.
So for me, that is important. Then the second thing is I'm a father.
Yes,
you understand?
100%.
So those things are important for me because we live in a world that does not promote family anymore. Family is fragmented currently. There are a whole lot of interpretations of what family is, you know. So it is very much important for me, also based on the fact that I have a faith that promotes what family is about.
Yes, 100%.
And where family should be, what family should do, and all those things. So for me, telling people that I'm a husband,
it must be the forefront.
It must be at the forefront. Telling people that I'm a father, it must be at the forefront. So that, let's get that out of the way. So that it's very clear, even in how we relate with people, that these are the parameters of this person. You know, that is important.
Okay. I find that interesting because the world that we're currently in, as you said, it has lost its core. That core principle and values around family. And one of the reasons is because we're forever chasing. We're in this materialistic world, and then those type of things come after. Religion, family, just being kind, the basic principles around human existence. You know, so the fact that you carry it on your sleeve, and proudly so, reminds me of why in the first place you are one of the people in my, was it grade 11? Yeah, you were very hey, you don't understand the value, you know, and sometimes that's why it's important that people should get their flowers while they can still earn them, and understand the value that they've had and the impact that they've had on an individual. If you remember our interactions back then, I was sort of a lost soul, and my mom came to you almost like the last hope, you know, because already at the time you were busy studying, and it was through you that I knew about what a cum laude is. Because you did invite me to a mini graduation ceremony where you were getting your cum laude, you know, and then the people you surrounded yourself with there at that table also, I was honored to be there, to be present there and to witness such greatness. So you helped shape so many things, and one of them is that particular perception. So your brand was solid then, and the fact that all these years you've kept it solid, is pretty amazing. So I'd like to know, what are the key things that you've used and the key tools that you've used to ensure that your brand is this consistent up to so far?
It's staying true to who you are, because the world seeks to tell us who we are, and as soon as you allow the world to tell you who you are, you become fragmented. You do this and that. You're trying to hlanganisa, so that impilo izohlangana. Yeah, that's all well and good, but the most important thing is to stay true to who you are. Stay true to your values. Yes, you'll make mistakes. There are a whole lot of mistakes along the way.
100%.
You know, you will hit walls, brick walls. You will get into bumps along the way and all that. But staying true to who you are and true to your values, it helps you along the way as you meet a whole lot of things. But also another thing for me was the issue of association. Associations are important because associations can make or break you. The people you bring along into your life, or the people you attach yourself to, they can make or break you. So for me, along the way, was to be conscious of who I attach myself to. I will not say, Guti, I've always got it right. There were times when I attached myself to people who nearly messed up my life, you know. But out of that, I had to quickly pivot, you know, to understand that, hey, Sibusiso, quickly wake up, man. You know, bounce back quickly from this setback, from that relationship that didn't work out, that nearly messed up your life and all that. But the beautiful thing is that it wasn't a lot of those. I have tried by all means to make sure that I connect myself. Most people that I connect myself with are people who have added value to my life, people who've steered me in the right direction, people who speak into my life, even if I don't want them to speak into my life, you know, people who are able to call it as it is, you know. So those are the things for me. I see all these things of you brand yourself, you're always in people's faces and all those things. No, that is fine.
Yes.
But there are things that must happen behind the scenes that people cannot see, which are the things that anchor you. So for me, being true to myself, being true to my values, being true to my associations, those are the things that have kept me building the brand that I've been building until now.
Okay. Interesting that you didn't mention your religion.
Okay.
Around anchoring yourself and being true to the identity.
Yes.
I know you as a staunch Christian. You're also a pastor. You lead a congregation.
We will talk about that.
Yes, actually, I want us to get into that. And the premise under which I'm asking this question is because now we're in a world where people are agnostic, people are atheists, people want to venture into spirituality, people are chasing a lot of things and pulling in different directions. And they always have justifications around even Christianity itself, how it's fragmented into the various denominations and so on. So I want to understand now your core principles around your religion. What is it, your journey with it, and why you stuck with it for so long?
In 1992, I gave my life to Christ through the late evangelist Reinhard Bonke. I think it was a German evangelist who had come to foster us to launch a church that is led by the Reverend Dr. Kenneth Mishwe, Hope of Glory. And I gave my life to Christ there. I was like any other young person, I was visiting, you know, but I guess that was my moment. And I gave my life to Christ. And ever since then, I've been following Christ. Along the way, there's been a lot of challenges, challenges that affect young people like any other young person. But God has kept me, you know. But one of the things that has really shaped my walk with God in a pluralistic, secular, diverse, religious country like South Africa or world that we live in, where everything goes, where people are saying, if it works for you, go for it. Where people are saying, 100%. If you believe it is, then it is, you know. What has kept me is the word of God. because the word of God never changes. I have never seen the word of God to be changing. Yeah, people would say, hey, but there are so many versions of the Bible, which one is true and all that. No, all those are interpretations and translations, you know. But the word of God, it is the essence of what the Bible is about. You understand?
I get you.
And that for me, anytime when I go to study the Bible, God speaks to me. And there is nothing as more important to me than hearing God speak to me through his word. So what has kept me as a Christian, as a pastor, as a believer, even apart from being a pastor, just as the believer, is knowing which the word of God is true and the word of God doesn't change. And because I believe it, it becomes what God says it is in my life. I'm not one of those prosperity preachers.
That has become very common.
I steer away from that, because for me the word of God is not about that. You understand? There's more to the word of God than claim it and name it. There's more to the word of God than go get it, you can have it, and all those things. Those things are just a percentage of what God says prosperity is. Prosperity is a soul issue. It's a soul issue. I think it's in the book of John, where John says, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. So the key thing here is the prosperity of the soul. Over and above everything that we are collecting and amassing in life, growing into and doing, which is good, the key thing is the prosperity of the soul. And what is the prosperity of the soul? Prosperity of the soul is building a solid relationship with God to an extent that even if everything else can be taken away from you, but you remain with a relationship with God that can never be shaken, can never be moved. When you prosper in your soul, nothing can shake you. Doesn't matter what circumstances you are facing in life. When your soul is prosperous, nothing shakes you. So for me, that is what is key in as far as my faith as a Christian, and as far as my walk with God, both as a pastor and also as a believer.
Okay, I actually don't want to dwell too deep into that, because I maybe in the future it's something that I'd like us to dig deeper into, because we all have our personal challenges and also our perceptions, that branding aspect that you spoke about. And sometimes I found myself challenging certain things and asking numerous questions, finding some answers also, because there is a verse, I think it's Proverbs 13, where they say that it's a stupid man that doesn't ask questions. And that doesn't mean that you can't ask questions of God himself. You know, it's just that from the realm of religion, we find it difficult to challenge and ask.
It's very deep things, because we have different interpretations of who God is.
100%.
You understand?
100%.
So it becomes very deep and it becomes very personal.
And emotional. Yeah, it triggers.
And emotional
triggering,
as well. You know, but what is important is that once you say you have found your own thing, you become true to it, because that very thing is going to challenge you along the way. You know, when life comes against you, that which you believe in will now challenge you. So it's very much important that you become true to who you say you are, in as far of what you say you believe.
I know. I like the passion with which you spoke that particular part. Since the passion that you spoke about when you spoke of your wife and your family, and now when you speak of how centered you are in your belief system, I'm actually quite inspired by that particular.
I guess belief systems, men, Lesego, are important. You know, when you talk philosophically, when you talk of belief system, you talk about worldviews, how you see the world. So your belief system, it helps you to have a certain view of the world. That is why somebody can come into a place where there is poverty and see it differently.
100%.
And see it differently. There is a movie, Jerusalem. That movie. There is this girl, if you've seen the movie, there is this girl, a white girl.
Time ago.
There's this white girl who falls in love with this gangster.
Rapulan.
She goes into a relationship. She goes into a relationship with that young man. And this guy says to him, I don't understand you white people. Because how they met in Hillbrook. And he says, I don't understand you white people. What are you doing here? You know? This is a very dangerous place. And this girl says, I guess when you are wealthy, poverty looks glamorous. Perception. You see, she has a worldview that makes her to see poverty different than how the boyfriend, subsequently boyfriend, would see it. You understand? Worldviews are very important. So belief systems are there to shape how we see the world, and also they are there to shape how we respond to the world.
No, that's quite powerful. That's quite powerful. And you spoke about the power of association and the people that you make sure you keep in your circle, and you defer and deter those that don't add value to your life. So I don't know if you've seen this video that I did about the 5 key reasons why a person should find a mentor.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
And the first point that I speak of is you.
Oh my
so
God.
You should actually search
video.
that video and find out what I say about you, because you were my first key mentor, as I've already mentioned. And so I want to grasp your understanding of mentorship. So the association aspect, but your understanding of mentorship and why it's actually necessary. Some even call it life coaches. Today, a friend of mine, a very good friend, said he hates this concept of life coaches, but hey, my G, you are my life coach. You got me all emotional. So I'd like to get a grasp from your perception and perspective and viewpoint around mentorship, the value of mentorship.
Yeah, just to help your friend, there's a difference between coaching and mentoring. It's two different things.
Yes.
When we talk about mentorship, we are talking about a relationship of 2 people. One is learning from the other. It could be the other one has seniority by age, or seniority by experience in terms of work, seniority by experience in terms of life, and all that.
Wisdom.
Yeah. So it's a relationship. So because it's a relationship, then we walk a journey together.
Okay.
So in a mentorship situation, you can't say I'm mentoring you for a year. That's coaching. In a coaching, there is a program.
Okay.
In mentorship, there's no program. It's a relationship.
Okay.
And in a relationship, I can call you anytime and say, hey, Lesego, where are you? I'm around here. Let's meet up for coffee. But in coaching, I have to set up an appointment. You have to pay fees for that. But in a mentorship, it's a relationship where, but even though there are boundaries that are set and identified, but they are not as strict as in coaching. Because in coaching, we've got a particular schedule, we've got a particular time frame. There are certain things that must be achieved within a set period of time. There are certain sessions that we need to have. You know, I do that with the people that I coach.
Okay.
But in mentorship, it's a relationship that goes on for years and years and years, and to a point where if you still feel that this person, every time when I'm with this person, my life is shaped differently.
Yes.
You know, this is the person I bounce things with. And another thing is that in coaching, I don't tell you what to do. In coaching, you have all the solutions. I just show you how to bring them forth.
Okay.
That's in coaching. But in mentorship, I tell you what to do.
Okay.
Yeah. In mentorship,
I actually thought it was more vice versa.
I know. In mentorship, I put my foot on the ground. If you say to me, I Babu Fega mina nkosikazi wamangisamboni ukwenzakalani ngaye. Hayi ngathi angisayi lapha yana. I put my foot down and say, hayi ke mfana, not if I'm your mentor, angiyalawo yakho.
Yeah.
But if you come to me and say, I need coaching, my relationship is not doing well, then I coach you for us to achieve a particular goal. But the thing is that in coaching, sometimes the goal may not be achieved because sometimes you may not like the system that I'm bringing for you to be able to unearth the solution. You understand?
I get you.
But in mentorship, we're not dealing with systems. We're dealing with relationship. We're working with things small. Actually, Jalama Nigerians, small. You know, we are working on things bit by bit. Concept by concept. Sometimes I'll come and sit and let you talk and say nothing. Then we are done. Okay, fine, it's fine. I'll see you tomorrow or I'll see you the other day. But in coaching, we have a program that we need to achieve. So yeah.
Okay, but in that program, you just guide.
In the program, yes, I guide.
So you almost work with that psychologist mindset, where you listen and then you guide based on what the person gives you.
Yeah. In fact, that psychologist mindset, it works all across. It works even in mentorship itself. It's just that how you mentor is different from how you coach. That is why abanye we even do what we call coach mentoring, where we take you through a coaching program, and when you feel some coaching, I've achieved my goals, but there are still areas in my life where I now need you as my mentor. Then we enter the mentoring relationship and all that. And lapo gagna structure, we just walk the journey.
Okay.
But you are accountable to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if ever Ulisiko has embezzled money, I'm the first one to call you.
Yeah.
Answer this. But as a coach, I can't do that.
Okay.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
You will raise it in our session.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but I can't say to you, hey, what was happening there? No.
Yeah.
That's not part of the agreement. I'm coaching you for this.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with that. But as a mentor, I can go into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, interesting. And then Sibusiso Mfeka Global, tell me about that, because I'm jumping into it because you've already told me about the coaching service that you provide, key mentoring that can also be aligned to the coaching. We've spoken about branding. Let's expand more on some of your clientele, some of the people you've worked with, some of the platforms you've been on, and then we'll keep it moving.
In terms of some of the people I've worked with, someone contract most.
Yes.
So there's this thing maybe to confidentiality.
Okay.
So I'm not able to disclose.
Brands?
But if you go into
big brands, are you able to disclose those?
I can't disclose those. Okay. I only send those because they are part of my profile to companies and organizations that want to do business with me.
Okay.
With whoever I worked with, so that they can get, I can give them referral and all those kind of things, and all that. But I have tried to work with brands that are high value. I have tried because I believe that what I have, in as much as I do brand coaching for everybody, but I've got this particular clientele that I aspire for, and every time when I sell my services, I sell it to that particular clientele.
Okay.
Doesn't mean other people I shun them. No, I don't do that. I welcome anybody who needs brand coaching. But my focus is on high value client. It's on A-listers. That is that. Unfortunately, I cannot speak their names and all that. But if you go to my Facebook page and my Instagram page, I do.
There are hints, clues right there. All right, starters, you heard it. You heard it. You visit Sibusiso Mfeka's Facebook page. You will get exactly the hints that you need there.
That is that.
Okay, so you do branding with these high value clients. You do coaching. Is there anything else that we are leaving out, which could be significant?
How we have structured our company right now, we do brand education.
Okay.
Where we speak in conferences, like today. Doing this lecture. It's part of brand education.
At the University of Johannesburg, by the way.
Yes. Doing this lecture, it's part of brand education. Posting articles that I get online, articles that I write myself. I've got a number of articles I've written. They're posted on LinkedIn and all that. So that is brand education. And that brand education also goes into being invited in companies to come and give talks, to come and do workshops and all that. Then also there is now brand coaching, where I sit one-on-one with clients. Could be a CEO of a company, could be a marketing person within the company who wants to structure the marketing department differently, or somebody who wants to turn employees into brand ambassadors and all those things. We do that coaching. Or even somebody who says, I am building a brand, but I'm just not sure what am I doing.
Okay.
Then I take that person and say, okay, let's work. I've got several programs.
You create a structure.
Yeah, I do have several programs that I have developed, but also I tailor-make programs because sometimes what I offer, Mina, may not be what you need.
Okay.
But you need my services because you know I've got what it takes to help you get there.
Yes.
So I listen to you. Then from there I go and I develop a program to say, okay, based on our conversation, this is how we are going to work. This is what you need. Is this fine? When you say it's fine, we sign on the dotted line, money is paid, we do the job.
Okay.
You know. So yeah, that is that.
Okay.
Then it's brand education, it's brand coaching, then there's brand communication.
Okay.
Where we are now communicating your brand. Brand communication, in one word, it's advertising.
Okay.
We get your brand out there.
Okay.
So we work with a number of branding agencies to do your graphic work, to do your broadcasting work, to do content creation, and all those kind of things in brand communication. We turn you into a public speaker even, so that we get to send you to conferences to go and speak in different places. We publish you. If you say, I also want to publish a book that will speak about my story, the story of our business and all those things, we get your book published and send it out there. So yeah, so those are the three things
the core,
in as far as Sibusiso Mfeka Global is concerned.
Okay.
The core things that we do. So everything else, it will function within these three. Yeah, we will find it somewhere within the three.
And how did COVID affect your business?
That thing. That thing affected me personally because my mother passed away during the thing.
Condolences.
Thank you very much. So you can imagine you having a business, you're having a family, here is COVID, the country has shut down, and your mother passes away. So you're dealing with a whole lot of emotions.
Yes.
So business was affected because of the fact that my kind of business, it's a niche business.
Yes.
You know, it's not a business that is out there.
Yes.
It's a business that you must convince people that they need this service.
Yes, 100%.
You know, especially amongst black people, coaching generally, it's not something that black people are willing to pay for. But to pay for it,
it's a different
it's something else. You know, so now you have to, it's worse now that you have to convince them at a time when people are losing jobs. You know, so it really affected the business. But thankfully, somehow God made a way for us as a family. It's only now that it's beginning to recover. You know, there are clients who were there before that are starting to come back, and there are new clients that are onboarding into the business. So yeah, but COVID, I know COVID, Baba, but we survived.
Okay. No, I'm glad there's a positive story now to the tragedy that happened and all the challenges that you were facing. In fact, I'm sure during that time you had to go back to your own notes and to your own core values and everything to get that strength that you needed to get past that tumultuous time, you know?
In fact, at that time, I remember I was requested at some point at the church to speak on a Thursday service. Because there was a time when lockdown rules and regulations, they were loosened up a bit. So we were able to go to the church, but even though they'll say it must be 50 people or 100 people, you remember most of the time?
Yes, I remember.
So I was requested to speak, and I spoke, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 months, my mother had passed away. I spoke on the subject that says, when leaders mourn. To say, even leaders do mourn, even leaders do cry. You know, so when you see a leader breaking down, don't think they are weak. They are just being human. They happen to be in leadership.
Oh, powerful. Convincing the black man that he may need a service that he doesn't know that he needs. It is quite challenging. And one of the things, the key brands that public speakers and what a lot of people term motivational speakers actually face is that backlash. To say, what value are you really adding? So are you also falling into the class of being a motivational speaker as a public speaker, or your niche doesn't fall under that particular sector of
I started
speaking?
there. I think everybody who starts into public speaking somehow starts there. You start inspiring people and all that. But as you grow or when you grow and you understand what growing is all about, you begin to identify the real thing that you are about. And then I began to realize that, no, I'm not a motivational speaker. I can motivate you, I can inspire you and all that, but inviting me to come and do motivational speaking, you will not get much out of me. Invite me to come and talk to you about how to build a brand, because there I'm going to show you systems, I'm going to show you methodologies. You understand? I'm going to walk a journey with you that is going to build your life, but a journey that is going to keep you accountable as you are building what you are building. Now, motivational speaking would come and just say 1, 2, 3 and get you excited. Tomorrow, you need to be motivated.
It's back to step one.
You understand? But coaching says, I'm walking a journey of accountability with you. I need you to be accountable with your life. And you are accountable with the things that we've been talking about in our coaching session. The systems that I'm introducing to you, I give you homeworks to go and implement. I tell you things that you need to go and do in order for you to succeed. You understand? So I wouldn't want to categorize myself as a motivational speaker. I do motivate, but I'm not a motivational speaker.
Okay. Okay. No, I get you. So there is quite a distinction between the two things.
You can call me a branding speaker.
A branding speaker.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's coin that, a branding speaker.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So you're busy with your PhD now. We are at the premises of one of the courtyards in the University of Johannesburg. You are here to speak to environmental health final year students about branding and preparing them for the workplace. So let's touch on you being busy with your PhD and some of the challenges that you've actually faced, but also what you're looking forward to. What will having that PhD do for you?
My PhD, I'm investigating a topic that says the value of brand communication strategy for township business. Because somehow in my conversations with township entrepreneurs over the years, I've realized that if there is one thing they don't put value on, it's branding. They don't care how they're branded as long as they're known. They don't care how their brand is communicated. As long as the brand is communicated, you understand? So I then decided to say, you know what, no man, I need to do something scholarly, something that will be scientific in order for me to come up with solutions that will help township-based entrepreneurs to build their companies, not only as companies, but also as brands. To be able to say to them, that which Edgar's has done, Pick n Pay has done, that is why they're coming into the townships now, taking over the township economy. It is because they've built brands.
100%.
You understand? And when who have not built a brand, you can have a supermarket just next door to these guys, and people still go there and not come to you. Why? Because they have invested in building a brand. And now the brand begins to speak. So my PhD is about that, to say to entrepreneurs, there is value in branding. But when I talk about value in branding, I'm not so much so focusing on the monetary value.
I was actually going to ask you around now the cost implications for township businesses.
I'm not focusing more on the monetary value of the brand, but I'm using the word value as a synonym of the word importance. When you're doing PhDs and masters, you have to come up with scientific ways to say things, But simply, someone will be saying the importance of brand communication for township business. But when we looked at that with my supervisor, said, nah, it doesn't sound so.
It doesn't quite hit the mark.
We need to find something scientific to say. So we use the word value, which in philosophy is the word axiology. You understand? The value of a thing. So that is what my study is about. And believe me, this is my 6th year doing my PhD.
PhD.
Yeah, because like I was saying to you when we were coming over here to say, this is one of those things when you do it, if you are going to be doing it in such a short space of time, you need to put everything else aside. And I can't put my wife and my kids aside,
100%.
man. You know, I'm one of those guys.
100%.
At 6 p.m. or at 7 p.m., I shut down my computer and I focus on my family. It doesn't matter how much workload I have, because that 2-3 hours is important.
Yes.
Because during the day,
Yes.
during the day, she's at work,
yeah,
and all that. And when I get to work from home,
yeah,
I have that privilege. But when they come from home, they need to find a home.
Yes.
Yeah, so I try by all means to make sure when they come home, I've shut down things. It's only yesterday, because I was finalizing today's presentation. I worked until 10 in the evening and all that. But still then, I had to slot in time
100%.
to be with them. So that is how challenging it is when you are working on actually any postgraduate. You know, it becomes hectic when it's a PhD, because it's got a lot of things that you need to do for you to put together the 350-page book. You know, it takes a lot for you to do that, because every idea that you present in there is scrutinized. You know, you have to think it through and all that. You have to brainstorm things. You have to meet with your supervisor. And sometimes you have written and you're sure that you have, this time I can sharpie.
And then they tear it apart.
No, what is this? This is nonsense, man. Go change that. Okay, that was hefty.
Ego bruised,
yeah, that's painful, you know. But it is because of that. My professor would normally say, a PhD, it's a learning degree. What does that mean? It is when you're doing your PhD that all your years of study come into play. Everything you know about this, you bring all of it. So if you've been doing environmental health from year one and now you're doing it at PhD, you're going to be going into resources and materials of your first year. Because there are certain things that you need to explain at first year level, but now in a scientific way. You understand?
I'm with you.
So yeah, it has been challenging, but it has been a satisfying journey. It has been a journey that I don't regret it. Whenever I coach and I speak now at a level I would never have spoken to 6 years ago, even though I had a master's degree. Right now, when I can easily stand in front of professors and doctors confidently, and they question me and I give them answers. You understand why? Because I've gone through this grueling process of having my thoughts being polished, being questioned.
So you'd encourage people to go that route?
I would.
I get it, you know, the perception, degree, I sign a value, what are you going to do with a piece of paper, start a business, etc., etc. Unemployment rate of graduates is high. So with all that in mind, you'd still encourage it? I
would still encourage it, because it's not just about getting a better job after you have it, or getting a promotion after you have it. It is also about the value that you're bringing into the world. Remember, after your PhD, you still have to publish articles in journals and all that. And these days, journals are very lucrative. You can make serious money just by publishing journals and doing nothing else, because you're publishing knowledge. And you've got your article. Imagine if your article is published in about 10 journals all over the world, and people are accessing that journal. Every time they access it, they pay you in dollars. That's serious money, you know?
It's good money.
But you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it for the value that you are bringing into the world, to change a trajectory, to change a particular narrative, to be able to say to people there is a better way of doing things, to find solutions to problems that have been there for ages. You understand?
Wow,
so there's a whole lot to do with having a PhD than just getting a better opportunity and all those things. And it actually allows you into spaces that just having a junior degree would not allow you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If ever there is an environmental problem in the country and they need somebody who's going to represent the country at the UN, they would not just pick up. They would go for somebody who is studious in the area. Somebody who understands it very well. Somebody who is able to stand up and answer questions from experts that normal people would not be able to answer.
Yes,
so when people criticize and say, no, man, there's no need for you to even have a degree these days and all that. Oh, man, there is value to being educated at that level, because
So,
it says
yeah.
your way of thinking is not my way of thinking.
Yes. So they themselves have to be educated. Speaking of education, you know, I actually want us to have another sit down at your leisure. We'll communicate.
All right.
For now, we need to rush because I want my students to now get this value, this power-packed value that you actually want to offer them. So for now, maybe a quick summary as to what is it that you're offering my students today? What are we going to be discussing and focusing on?
Yeah, today we are talking about personal branding in the workplace. The core of the whole talk or lecture is the fact that the marketplace is changing. And because the marketplace is changing, you need to know how to position yourself within the marketplace. These days, we're no longer just talking about the workplace, we're talking about workspaces. Where we can do, instead of being in a studio, we can just sit here in the garden and have this content created right here. You know, people are working from home these days. People can go into a mall and go into a restaurant and be there the whole day just buying coffee and muffins and working. You understand? So it actually says that how economy interfaces with people changes. So is the world of work. And because the world of work is changing, you therefore need to see yourself differently so that the world of work can appreciate the value that you're bringing with you into the world of work. Because these days, companies are not looking for liabilities. They're looking for people who understands who they are, people who are bringing value into the company, people who are coming to take the company into the next level, people that can be trusted with the core concepts and the core business of the company, people who can represent the company in places where you cannot just send no mobile. You understand? So that is what I'm bringing to
no, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I know my students are going to benefit.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We'll have another sit down, and I'm looking forward to it. I was born for this. I hope you guys received some mega value today from Tate Mfeka. Go to Facebook, follow his Facebook page, Sibusiso Mfeka. Do you have one for the business as well?
No, Sibusiso Mfeka Global.
It's your Facebook. Okay,
it's my Facebook, it's my Instagram, it's my LinkedIn.
Okay, nice. So please, starters, go there. You heard the value that you're getting from this man. So go get some more free value. And then once you are a high value client and you want to actually elevate yourself or maybe pivot and change the trajectory that you are on, then you know the man that you need to speak to. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one. It starts with you. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
No,
Oh, yes.